Hi, welcome to the Non-Immigrant Student Podcast. I have to give you a innovation. Yes, yes. I think that's first time I'm using it because
Thank,
my sister, but I
thank you.
won't give it too much. Thank you for coming to my show. Thank you for I miss your busy schedule. I miss all our time zones, Nigeria and the US. We finally made it happen. So just in a bit, I'll introduce myself and then I'll let you introduce yourself. And traditional housekeeping rules I have on the show is I always let my guests tell us how we met. So, but first I'll start by introducing myself. So, hi guys, welcome back to the Non-Immigrant Student Podcast. This is season 2 where I've invited new guest members. Let's say new guest members. I've invited guest speakers or like my friends who have studied abroad to come on the show and share their experiences. And today I have with me a special guest named Temitope Ruth Olukanmi, who is obviously my sister. So, and and because of how professional my sister is, I said I will not let her think that I'm not taking her seriously. So I try my best to treat her like I would treat every other person. I sent her email, her invite letter, and all that. My name is Tolu Olukanmi, and I'm the podcast host here. I'm a grad student at Cornell University. And if you're new here, welcome. If you're old here and you've missed me, thank you so much for checking up on me. So today I have with me Tammy, like I said. So Tammy, please can you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to be a partaker of what my sister is doing. So, a bit about myself. I work as a senior product and operations manager at Farms2You. It's an agri-tech startup in Lagos. Um, I graduated from Cornell University, studied economics, and then went on to do my master's in supply chain logistics, management. That's funny because I'm not even using the degree now, but anyways. I also am the founder of the Cedar Tribe Foundation, whose goal basically is to make sure that teenagers harness all their skills, talents, and utilize it to reign in life. So we give them resources, they undergo apprenticeships, we have internship partners, basically things to help students in public schools. That's our major focus. And then at Farms2You, what do? I handle operations, I handle exports, projects, products, the entire life cycle of the digital assets. So I think in summary, that's what I do. And then I also mentor a lot of teenagers in church and basically almost everywhere. It's like parents see me and they say, please mentor my daughter, please mentor my boy. So yeah, that's a bit about me. And yeah, I'm excited to
Is
be
the you said in church? I didn't even hear what you said at first. It's the UK accent for me, but oh well, yeah. welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here. So like I said I'll let you say how we met. I know that's like a very dull story, but yeah. So how did we meet? I know it's a chicken
How
and
did
egg
we
question.
meet? I was born. I realized that I had a sister that we should share the same room, we should use the same things, and stay wearing the same clothes. That's how we met.
No, yes. So I met Temi about 1 year and 4 months after I was born. Yeah, no, this is so weird that we have to say this, but she's my immediate younger sister. And then we've come a long way. Like every other sister duo, we used to fight a lot. We were always at loggerheads. And my parents made sure we stayed in the same room to try to get us to work on our relationship. But it didn't work. Even remember when in boarding school they made us be bunk mates?
It was
What?
it made it worse in my own opinion.
Yeah,
As in them putting us together made it worse in my
I
own
know.
opinion. Made it bad if I don't even know.
Yeah.
Worse. Terrible.
And I used to think Timmy was so rude to me. And I think it's because I also didn't have a good character. Like I didn't know how to talk to people. So but I really feel we've come a long way. And I remember after you left to UK, I'll find myself missing. I'm like, what is this feeling about me missing my sister that used to annoy me a lot? But then yes. What?
Before
What did you say?
I wanted to say this is the first time I'm hearing this, but I think you've said it
Of course,
before.
I've said it before. I always say it's you that does not share your emotions, but it's okay. Let's not come here and be doing sister fight. So let's move right into it. So that's how we met. But there's also a story that I said I was going to share. So do you remember when we got into Cornell University together? We finished together because you did a 4 year course and I did a 5 year course. And in my first year,
Yeah.
I think you came to see me in my second year, you were in first year, and I was so worried that because sometimes you do as if you don't care about certain things that are happening. And I was like, Timmy, won't you join a service unit? Won't you join this? Do you remember? I was in second year. I don't know if you remember, but that day you were not even answering me. I was like, Timmy, I want you to be part of something and this and this. I was there thinking like I could influence you positively. And now looking over the years, I'm just like, look at how all the things you were mentioning, senior manager, even me, I've not even smelled junior or manager, and then you're already a senior manager.
No, to be honest, I feel that your positions in school helped because that way I could see that you were always so good and busy. I'm like, ooh. Also, I like to do this because I mean, in my 100 level, what was I doing? I was just going to, and also I think also in secondary school you're going for all these things as well. So it made me aspire to be more.
Wow, you
I
never
think
told me.
since when? Why should I tell you? Since when I was writing IGCSE, I think that was where I started saying, "Oh, I must be better than my sister. I must surpass whatever." So it's not like a competitive. It's just. I mean, even the Bible says that the last shall be better than the first. I mean, we have last borns. I'm not saying I'm the best. I mean, our junior is better than all of us. But what I'm saying is that because of what you were able to do, I just aspire to be more.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for saying that. And we're actually compared a lot growing up. But then now I see that, wow, my sister is such a woman in her own right, and look at all the things you've achieved. I'm really proud of you. So yeah. And yeah, by the way,
They still even compared me and you today. Even if you're in the US, they still compare us.
I think it's just the first child syndrome. The first child is always right in every family most of the time. So don't worry. It's not about
look at Tolu. She will do that.
I know it's because they trained me to be like that. It's like you cannot depart from it. But it's okay, let's not go there. Anyway, and by the way, we are 2 or 5 girls. Yeah. So we shout out to all our sisters. We have a sister. So the sister right after Timmy we call her CEO. She has her own business, bag, earrings, Ankara. We love and respect her. We also have Tony and Tammy. Big shout out to them. So today's topic, while we're here, the title of today's episode is Coming Back to Nigeria, an option or not an option. Yes, that's it. We're very heavy on an option or not an option. So a lot of us, when we come here to school, to my sister's school in the UK, like she said, we struggle, even aside the identity crisis and all that, it seems like we are always struggling with, do I need to go back home? Or am I just here for my master's, or I'm here to actually live and study and work while I'm done? So there's always that struggle. And I remember that when you had come for your master's, I was still in Nigeria because I wanted to serve. I wasn't even sure that I was going to come and do my master's. I was so sure that I would get that oil and gas money and work with it, and nothing will stop me. Tim, are you still there? Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. So I wasn't sure that I was going to come get my master's because I was working on an oil and gas company at the time, and I was earning at least enough money compared to my mates. But eventually I tried to go get my master's. And I remember thinking, my sister was in the UK, and it was rare to see people in the UK stay back because there were hardly jobs and it was tough. So I was also scared that, my sister is going to come back. What is going to be her life when she comes back? Nigeria wasn't looking good at any point in time. And then pandemic hit, it wasn't everything. But then here you are, a senior manager. So I said, even before you were a senior manager, remember that. Even before you got promoted at work, remember that. I had told you that I want to share your story because look at how you came back. You didn't even have like a bad. Even me, I was already even so scared for you. And you were so sure that God will help you. So that's why we're here today. So I wanted to share.
So to be honest, to each his own. I'm not going to say one size fits all, but I would say that you draw strength from your intimacy with God, and strength and courage to obey and to do whatever God wants you to do. So to break it down, when I was going to UK, I was like, I'm going to come back, going to change the world, going to be in government. I mean, I studied economics. I had all these great ambitions. I love macroeconomics. I love the way things worked, and I loved public sector. I mean, I'm still doing my NGO work. It's largely related to the public sector. But that was the idea when I was leaving. And when I got there, people were not like, so you want to go back to Nigeria, so you want to do this, so you want to do that. Even when I was there, I didn't particularly look for a job. To be honest, throughout my master's period, I can say that I did not categorically do the aggressive application that everybody was doing. And the more I was doing the aggressive application, the more depressed I was. Because there were so many times I would look at job descriptions and I would just say, this isn't me. This isn't me. This is not. Like, exactly. So even when I would see things, I'm like, but this is not like my role. Like, this is not my ideal organization. So even when people say, oh, write down the top places you want to work in, aggressively apply, I would try to look for the culture of those kind of places, but you can't really know the culture unless you're really in it. People can say, oh, it's amazing, it's this, it's that, but it's not a perfect fit for you. So I really, really struggled. And the ones that I got, I was so tired of them saying, oh, we need someone with more experience, or you don't fit for this role. And since I did my master's in supply chain logistics, so there was this particular company, they're amazing in supply chain, they're like world's best, Fortune 100 or even Fortune 10. So the founder is one of the, if not the top two richest persons in the world. I'm not going to say the company's name. But anyways, this was where people were saying I should apply to. It was just anyways. So after my master's, moved to London. So one of the things I would say is that before your master's, find out. I didn't even know why I was going. I was just in the library one day in school, and then I just got this sudden nudge, this sudden inclination, go for your master's. And immediately, see, that's the thing. When you start trusting God as babies, He would use you more. I don't know how to explain it, but when you hear the nudge and you just move, it's more. Anyways, that's how I started applying. I couldn't even apply for scholarship because I think I graduated in July. I left in October, and I didn't even get my unconditional offer till September. That was how fast things were going. And I remember, I think I was having a conversation with you, and you couldn't even believe that I was going for my master's. It was actually happening.
I was like, it was still like a joke. I remember.
Yeah. My parents, it was a joke to them, but me, I just continued doing what I was doing, and I knew that this is what I wanted to do. The only reason why I could see that, because of some issues I can't talk about, and because I didn't want to do NYSC, those were the two reasons why I didn't want to come back home. Anyways, so in the UK, I mean, it was very lonely, I won't lie. I had a lot of things that I don't think I can talk about here, but like coping mechanisms and things that helped me along the way. But I noticed, I knew what I liked. I liked organizing, I liked helping out. The only thing I ever volunteered for actually won an award, so that was good. At least I had an award winning something during my master's. And then I didn't know that you miss 100% of the chances you don't take. I didn't know that I was going to be in London in December. But anyways, I saw this TEDx thing. I don't even know how I saw it, and I saw opportunity to apply. I sure applied. I didn't even think they would get back to me. I sure saw it. And apparently they got back to me. So that's how I started doing TEDx London. I volunteered, and apparently I moved to London at that time. All of that, when I was in London, it was hard. Wasn't going to lie. I ended up working as a waitress. So I was working in the hospitality industry, which, to be honest, I mean, I was the head of hospitality before I left. I think I've even shared bits of this story. But I never pictured myself there. I never pictured myself serving other people. More so even standing for long hours. I remember my first shift. Once I came back home, I said, I'm not going again. And then my auntie just kept, the woman I was saving, God bless her so much. She just kept encouraging me. So she was just encouraging me that, what am I doing? That this Nigeria, they have spoiled you, blah, 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 blah. She just kept pushing me. Are you going to work? I think there was even one time one of my very, very close friends who was like, how would I be doing waitressing? And I think from all the shifts I booked that week, I cancelled all of them because I thought about myself. I'm like, really, how can I, and a whole MSc? But that's pride. I mean, that's pride. Anyways.
I don't also think it was. Because even me, I remember when you told me
Yeah,
I don't think you were wrong to feel that way, honestly. After paying how much?
I wasn't wrong.
Yeah, but you weren't wrong, right?
I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong to feel that way. And there are some people that I know that even during school, there was this work program that you go to US and then you work as a waitress and stuff. I was like, I can never picture myself doing that. Do you understand? But there's a thing about idle hands. So I was in a very bad mental state, and then I just at some point I took a break off media. And I just started knitting. I started knitting, started baking, started cooking. Shout out to Auntie MC again. And grandma's right here. I didn't even know, like, without that family, I don't know how that happened. And so there was one time we went to the store. I saw some wools and they were grandma's own. I said, "Oh, can I have it?" She said, "Yeah, sure." That's how I started regaining my love for knitting again. I know I used to do it in secondary school, but I just started again. I started cooking more. And what else did I do? I started painting. Yes, I started YouTubing in Durham because I'm like, so how I started YouTubing was because I'm like, I must get something tangible from this money, even if it means documenting my experience. I mean, YouTube used to pay because I didn't feel that I was getting any value. Like I did have a job now, and they can't pay all this money for me not to get value from it. So I saw YouTube as a value adding thing where I can share. And to be honest, when I was coming to Durham, it was hard for me to find content about Durham. So that was the reason. That was one of the reasons why I started YouTubing. So I started doing that. I started doing a lot of things just to get myself active. And it's funny how what I waited for 2 years, I got in less than 2 days. Then after the waitressing, I'm going to talk about it. So after the waitressing, I met lots of people. Oh my goodness. I explored different parts of London and I started feeling better when I started seeing postgrad of Imperial, LSC, also doing waitressing with me. I was like, sure, let's be going, let's be doing it together, It wasn't, I started feeling okay. And then there was this top woman I saw. She's a very big woman in Lagos. And I saw her as a waitress. Like her children went to Grange, Green Springs, amazing school, but she was waitressing. And in my mind, I was shocked, like, how? And then she was like, the way she spoke to me that day, I went with a renewed mind. And I didn't see it as a big deal anymore. So aside from me now being nice, very nice to waitress, even if they don't get my order, because I know that there are sometimes, even before trading, I'll get people's order wrong. I'll be very frustrated. Like I now could feel what they feel as well. And aside from that, it wasn't a big deal to me again. So what I mean by what I was waiting for in 2 years, I got in 2 days, was after the school of waitressing. I'll call it school that I was doing through. I remember the next job I got as an operations analyst. It's funny how it was social capital. I think I've told someone before, this is just some social capital is key in life. And the interest from what you get is based on your integrity and your excellence. So social capital is basically capital you need to succeed in life. And how you get interest from that social capital is based on your excellence and integrity. That's how good you are and how can people vouch for you. Anyways, so it was just a call away. Someone called and then before you know it, the person said, send in your application. I sent it in less than 2 days. I got the job and I started working. So it was like all like a dream to me. And it's funny how all the skills I learned from the waitressing, that was what I needed on that job, because there were lots of stakeholders that were worth millions of dollars. I had to work with different vendors. I had to plan different events. There was even like a remodeling of the office that I did the interior design. I did like a mock-up. So like, all these different things, I wouldn't have been able to excel. And even during that time, they were like, oh my God, you should stick to this. Like, this is what you're good at. And all of that.
Do you want to share the name of the company?
No, I wouldn't. So anyways, so that was the job.
But I'd like to talk a little bit though. Sorry to cut you because we just went straight into your UK journey. I was going to start from undergrad actually. So I feel like you're already ending the near of your UK story, and I wanted to ask a question before we got to it.
I'm not.
No, hold on. Yeah. Okay. So first of all, I wanted to find out why you applied to the UK. Even after knowing that, even after knowing
Because
Sure.
I think sorry, I said I planned on coming back.
Okay, okay.
I planned on coming back to Nigeria. It was only when I got there that people started saying, "How would you come back? How would
Oh,
you? What are you coming back to Nigeria for?" So I'm part of the people that really had hope in Nigeria, and the base of my course, and also like I in UK there was this feeling of emptiness. So I even when I during my undergrad, when I was 16, I started a non-profit initiative called Straight Out of Love, and every summer I would do different programs in different schools. But then in UK, there was this restriction that I couldn't do much, I couldn't help. And me, I love to make people smile. And even the little, even when you say, when you even want to invite someone for lunch or you want to cook for them, you raise their eyebrows. I remember there was this woman, she was just complaining. She came to, and God bless Durham people, though. They always used to drop me, pick me, and I love them. So she was just complaining that she was hungry. I'm like, oh, you can come in. And then she just kept, and UK people, they are very, very reserved. Like, they won't say anything with their
very
facial
snobbish.
expressions. Exactly. So I felt that I wasn't using the gifts that God had
Do you
endowed
remember
me
that
with
time you
in
told
the
me how
UK.
you saw someone was hungry on the road and you gave them sandwich and they told you they don't eat? Was it not you? Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
What story? You
And
gave them,
see,
you saw someone who you thought needed help and
I can't even remember. There's so many
you
times I've
told
tried to
them, the
give
guy
people
told you
things,
he doesn't eat
just
meat
no.
or something like that. Someone who was hungry.
Yes. I mean, everybody, there's human rights, but it's different. In Nigeria, human rights have been destroyed. Like, I work with a lot of teenagers, and I can see the difference from a privileged teenager and some teenagers that don't have anything. The teenagers that are in public schools, when you give them opportunity, they go 100% for it. While the other ones will be dragging their feet, they'll be like, I don't want to do
Because
it.
they
I
have
don't have
options.
time. They have options, exactly. So, same thing with the privileged ones in the UK. Anyways, I felt paralyzed. I felt like I couldn't help even doing initiatives, I just felt it wasn't just there. Like I was a teens teacher as well in the UK, so that was my mode of giving back. But I mean, aside from impacting them with the word, um, I just felt this feeling of emptiness. And even when I would walk back home, and there was just, I knew that I was just like, when you say that you're a wandering soul in a desert, the place is dry, you're just wandering. That's how I
Did you
felt.
have
And I think, yes, I have what? I mean, I did. I did. My friends were in London that time, and Durham was very lonely. I had one very close friend, Camille. Um, and then I had some friends, but I don't think I'm a friend person like that. I only have a few friends, and those are the ones I stick with. But yeah, when I came to London, definitely Ife and everything, but it wasn't just the same for me. I just knew that something was missing, and there was a time I kept asking God for signs coming back. I felt my road to so from February, March, I started feeling uneasy. So my road to coming back, I remember I kept asking God for signs. And there was one time I ordered Chinese food and he put fortune cookies inside. And when I opened it, they were like, I know we should not believe in superstitious, whatever, but they were like, your something is when you come home. And I think I shared it with you, and then you were like, Jesus. The way you said Jesus in the text, you were not like that. You actually believe that this is true. So to me, that was more like an answered. That was more like an answered prayer. And also moving forth, I think it was my birthday as well, and then someone gave me a gift. Someone gave me a book, and I don't usually read books. And even on my wish list, I didn't even ask for a book. I didn't ask for. I don't read fiction. But the person just said the person felt led to give me a book. And what they wrote on the book was Welcome to Lagos. And the night before, somebody mentioned, yeah, a very strange things were happening. The night before, someone gave me, that night I was feeling so uneasy. I don't know, as if my spirit knew that something was coming. And for the first time in my life, I felt goosebumps all over me and my hairs were standing. I was like, God, what's this? And I took a walk. And next thing, the travel agent we normally used told me, oh, Timmy, they found a flight for the 30th. Would I like to be on it? I was like, Jesus. Like, God, if I make this decision to leave. And there's this feeling of you have not tried enough because so many people are saying, try all your possible best to leave, to do this. So when I feel like I'm giving up, I feel that um I feel that I haven't tried or I'm being lazy because other people were getting jobs as well. So to me, yeah. So I think after those series of occurrences, and I knew that there was nothing, I wasn't going to do anything illegal to stay back. What that meant, I mean, I know I'm going to be a world traveler, I'm a global citizen. I don't want where somebody will come and tell me that. And it's funny because be very careful of who you're vulnerable with. Is noise still, can you still hear the noise? Alright. Anyways, can you hear it now? Sorry about that. I think it has to do with anyway. I need to change. I need to upgrade. Can you hear? Is it affecting the audio back?
That's fine.
Okay, so I think I started saying I wasn't going to do anything illegal to come back. My parents were very worried. What am I going to do when I come back? Like left, right. I just remember taking out like 2 weeks just to myself, and really, I mean, my same auntie's room. I just really like found myself and really found what I wanted to do. And she was so like when I think back, I I I say that even when I travel or like when I'm abroad or something, I want to be like that kind of person because her support system was out of this world. Even when I told her I was coming back, she was like, "Oh, I." Once I said God was leading me, she said it was fine. Thinking about it now is really emotional. So she did a send forth. She did a send forth party for me, and her whole family came. It was like a surprise. It was so. I think I'll even share pictures. I actually cried that day.
Aww.
Anyways, even
They
before
also did
then,
a Zoom birthday party. They also did.
yes, like see, to be honest, like I feel that they were just God sent. Because even without them, I wouldn't have been able to even do that waitressing thing that I'm saying now that it helps me and all of that. Because after the first day, I'm like, I'm not going to do it again. I would have probably found something else. Um, but yeah, be very careful who you're vulnerable with. Because there was one this particular man in church. He was like, "How would you spend all this money in the UK and then I'll go back and apply for visa to come back?" He was like, "No, let's go and strategize." He sent invite Nando's. I really dressed, what makeup, what suit went, and the man just started being very, would I say sexually close? And this was the head of the department in church, for goodness sake. In my wildest imagination, I would never have thought that that kind of person would approach me on that light and even want me to marry his brother for papers. Like, I know that in the other place where I worked, there was this particular man that was saying, "Oh, let him do my papers for me, not just £50,000.
Yeah? I got jobs.
There's this route, there's this Nigerians have a lot of money apparently. There's this route that you can go to, the entrepreneurship route, or you would. But the funny thing is, I'm not an entrepreneur. It's not that I'll now go and start making up stories that are not on building models of myself that is not true. And funny enough, I saw somebody that was doing the exact same thing, stuck in the trap of I don't want to go back to Nigeria, but he was literally suffering in the UK, not in the place of entrepreneur, and he wasn't flourishing. There are some people that you say your Greenland is what you make of it. That's true, but it's just like planting vegetable in a desert. How would you want it to grow? How, like, even if you say you bring the soil, it's like going to the city, bringing the soil, putting it on an unfertile land. There is no way it will work. So anyways, that date, in fact, I felt so I couldn't believe that somebody like me would do such a thing. But anyways, I think that's the way the world. It's just because we've just been in a bubble, and we are as Christians, we don't believe that that's obtainable. But I think abroad is the moral lines are blurred. People, as Christians, we kind of think differently, like no sex before marriage, this. But then even going there, I could see people sleeping together. I could see there, and there was nothing wrong with it. So that's why I said the moral lines are blurred. So when you go, you have to be really careful. Why am I not doing this? I know that. And for me, I made a personal decision not to drink, not because of anything, but because of what I have seen and what I have experienced through people's lives. And I said, I will not allow a substance to have so much control over me. And I mean, what's your why reason? Why are you doing it? So all those different things are the things that helped me. So yeah, I think that's the summary. I think I've talked for too long now, but that's the summary of the whole journey and how the preceding events before I decided to come back. And one thing that crowned it up, see, God really made me happy coming back, and I had to strike a deal with Him that if you say I am coming back, these are the things that must happen. And before you know it, as I was coming back, so much open doors. I remember even winning like a £200 voucher to go to Fortuna Mason. And I won't say what happened in that Fortuna Mason, but let's just say that it was a redemption story in itself. And I just had fun. I mean, my friends really made me feel good coming back. So
Yeah, I remember, and even when I remember also that when you were coming back, we bought balloons, we put cardboard in the room to welcome you back, we put like decoration in the house, yeah, just to try to say, welcome back, Kenny, and all that. So you have skipped a lot of the questions I planned to ask, but thank you. No, it's fine. No, you have given an answer that encompasses them all. Is what I mean. So thank you for sharing your story of being in the UK and coming back. But there's this story I remember that you shared with mommy, that she shared with me, and she was telling me. But I want you to comment on it. Like, what was that for you? So even me here, like you said, I struggle with the job descriptions I see because everyone feels you have to stay back. I keep seeing things that do not match me. And then it looks foolish if I tell someone that I don't want that job. It's like you can't afford to be picky, an international student, right? So I'm always scared if I should go back, what would happen? Did I get a good job? Would I also be stable like my sister? I know that. How long will it take before I find my feet? But I have this question. So mommy was telling me how you told her that there was this girl who was an Asian. She was from China, and she heard that if she went to the Durham University chapel to pray, that every day she would get what she wants. And so she used to go there every day to light a candle and pray that she gets a job. And eventually she got a job. And I remember even telling you that, why would you go and tell your mother that? I don't know she'll use it against you and all that. But would you say that her doing that would you say that that was her purpose or her path? Or you would just say that God answered her prayers? Like my question is, if you had done that every day, do you think you'd have a job in the UK? Or it was just time?
I mean, so her, that was the ritual that was the means by which she could get to God. I mean, she wasn't a Christian, but she had a Catholic background. I think her grandmother or something like that. And to her, it gave her a sense of hope. So when I would hear the word of God, when I would go fellowship, that also gave me a sense of hope. I think I even had a playlist on YouTube called Job Playlist. I might share that as well. So so as I was listening, so I would spend nights listening to messages about jobs, about people, like all the content, music, everything that helped me, everything I cried to, everything I used, I saved it in that playlist. So to her, that was her own means of communicating to God. I mean, my communicating to God was most times either crying or like. So I mean, people always find things to hold on to and find symbols that they can easily relate to. Because I mean, it's not as if she was a Christian, so she might not know that her just speaking to God in her room would help. But she had this faith. I think that's what I'll say. Aside from going to light a candle, she had so much faith and optimism that she'll get it because she was doing this, she'll get it. But to me, I was like, because I'm praying and because I know I am in my Father's hands, He won't let me go. That was my own skepticism. And I think one other thing that helped me was because in the UK, I saw that so many people, so I learned a lot from experience. I saw that so many people, there was this particular woman, she was a banker, and when she went to the UK, she now became a hairdresser. To her, the UK is more, I'm very big on maximizing your purpose in life and finding it early. So me, I found what I like to do and what I should do on earth. And I wasn't going to take less than that to stay in a promised green land, if you get what I mean. I say promised because I couldn't see the green land I couldn't say depressed state. But I knew, and there was just something like, if I entered inside an office, I would know if this is the place. There's this vision, like, before, I always manifest things, I tell people. So before even going to work. Like I know the kind of office I like to work in. I know the kind of life I want for myself. And I wasn't going to say I'm going to be a waitress. I mean, I'm not saying that that's a bad job. There are people. There was this woman. I couldn't believe that that was the only job that she was doing. Like that's actually her 9 to 5 waitressing. There are people that do those kind of jobs just because we are oblivious to it. I mean, if there are no waitresses, how would we be served in restaurants? If you get what I mean. But to me,
it's just weird, you know.
because of my background, yeah, it's weird. But I wouldn't. So what I'm saying was that I knew that whether I liked it or not, I'm not going to become a cleaner now in someone else's land when I know I can be impacting lives in Nigeria. Like I also said earlier, I thought I couldn't janitor. Yeah, I felt that I couldn't if I know. So rather than be a janitor in a foreign land, I'd rather just come and be an analyst or something. If I don't know if this makes sense.
Even for less pay,
But which less pay?
like
So it's not as if I'm going to be stuck in Nigeria. Like I'm going to move eventually, whenever that would be. But I'm just saying that I think the teenagers that I mentor, I tell them that to go to UK, there are different planes. You can go through KLM, you can go through Lufthansa, you can go to Arik.
I think you're not.
But then some planes stop.
You have network issues. Okay. Yeah.
But can you hear me now? I'm saying that for you to go to London, you have different flights. There are some that will stop at Amsterdam before you go to London. There are some that will stop at maybe France now before you go to London. But then with God, you would know the one that will take you less time. Arik is just 6 hours straight. Yeah, you don't have to go through the 12-hour, 8-hour map. So you might still get to where you're going to. But I know that for the work that God wants me to do, and through the different processes I've been with Him, I need to get my professional life together early, quick, fast, get over it, and then focus on the work of God. It's not as if I'm not still focusing on the work of God. I'm still in teens ministry doing all of this. But I know that it's just for building social capital, building skill, building expertise, building a name for myself, and then I'll diverge into what God wants me to do.
Okay.
So to me, that was it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for sharing that. So basically, both of you had faith in God for different things, and at the end of the day, He granted your heart desires. That's
Oh yes. Oh my God.
how I
Talk
feel.
to me. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we've talked about the jobs you've worked, and even I was going to also comment about. I know on LinkedIn now you started this series called hashtag Sincerely Honest, where you share your career path, from the UK back to Nigeria. So I won't, since that information is already out there, I won't spend too much time on it. But what's one advice you have for someone job hunting in UK who might not want to come back, who's considering coming back home only because they've given up, not because they really know they're supposed to be back in their home country? What's one advice you would give for them? Would you tell them to damn everything and come back home, or to actually keep trying?
I mean, keep trying. You don't want to live a life of regrets or feel like you didn't do your best, because once you give up, you continue. It's like a cycle. You continue giving up on other things because that's the easiest route. So if that you want to stay in the UK, US, wherever you want to be, and you know that you ought to be there. I mean, there are some people that they actually know that there's nothing they're coming back to in Nigeria. They don't have family, they don't have anything, and they do all. I know people that have strived, they have worked, and they have amazing jobs. All this janitor thing I'm talking about, that's how they started. But now they have their own businesses, they're making money, they're employing people. So I think it starts from your life vision. So what have you pictured for your life? When you're introducing yourself at 40 or at 30, what would you like to say that you have achieved? From then, you'll be able to discover the means or the path in which you should take, with the help of the Holy Spirit, obviously. You'll be able to draw the thin line. What are my core competencies? What are my skills? What are all the things that I am doing now that would help me in the future? Then once you're done with that, obviously your master's kind of gives you an edge. So while you are there, try to find out skills and things that you do. I know that definitely I'll be talking to people. I was organizing events. I was doing all the different things. It will help me. Social media, I started doing it because it will help me. So I think in summary, I'll just say that you should smile on yourself. I tell myself that if they ever give me a TED talk to talk was doing, I know I was still speaking with TED Talk then, but anyways, this woman looked at me and she said, I was doing TED, she was like, I feel you should speak at TEDx or something along that lines. I would say smile on yourself. It's so easy for you to be looking at other people's pictures, other people's testimonies, and wishing you want that for yourself. But is that what your true identity, your true self really wants? Is that what would make you true? So after you've started doing all those different path finding things, and then if you have found that it is the UK environment that will help you thrive, that's beautiful. For the baby girl lifestyle, definitely the UK environment is it for me. But then that might not be what I would want now. That might be something that would happen later on, probably when I start having kids and stuff like that. And I just need to do the groundwork now. So my case is technically very different. But I think once you've answered these questions, and how do you truly feel in diaspora? Like I told you, I felt lost. I felt there's some people that had support systems. Like people that I had a great support system, but I still felt inadequate. I still felt that wasn't the place for me. So how do you truly feel? Just be true and make sure you smile on your gifts, your talents, your call in life. Because if you keep smiling out and liking other people's pictures and liking other people's lives and testimony, but you don't like your own on Instagram or even in life, there is no how you would feel stuck.
Yeah. Okay. So we have to quickly move on, and you can answer the second question in fewer words. So now we're moving to talking about your life in Nigeria. What it has been like. I follow your Instagram, and I see how. Of course, I follow your Instagram, and I see your hashtag Streets of Lagos, and I enjoy seeing it because it reminds me of home. Even though Lagos can be very ratchet, but and I even judge because during the summer I was in Brooklyn for some time, and I remember not detesting, but being so angry at how loud everywhere was. People play their music out loud, maybe because we now live in an estate. But like you said, the actual streets of Lagos can be very loud and ratchet. And it looks like you even find joy in that. Some other people hate Lagos because of all that anger and everything. But I see you videoing policemen dancing on the road. Policemen, rather. I just use my Nigerian accent. I see you videoing policemen dancing on the road. Bus conductors being who they are. So I just want to ask, so now this is me now saying, so how has life been adjusting to Lagos? Now that you've come back, I remember you came back and we all waited for you at the door. We had cardboards everywhere. And now that you're back, how has life been? In very few words, because I'm going to ask about your job.
It's still sometimes I adjust. But I know that I'm not going to be in the situation where I'll be exploring the streets forever. Like, there are going to be times where I'll be so busy at the back of my car, the driver is driving me, and I'll not have the time to capture all the moments. And there are so many times I'm going to work in the bus, and I know that, okay, obviously, this is not forever. And there are just funny things that happen, funny conversations between the bus driver and the people, or when all these boys on the street want to collect more money, and then all the passengers are now hyping the bus collector, or like all these funny things that happen. Like it's just, I think I just got to a point where I'm just embracing everything, and that's why I started Streets of Lagos, because I'm like, Lagos is actually unique, and I actually feel, because you're not the first person telling me they actually like my Streets of Lagos thing. I just started it because let me just show whatever I feel that is amusing. I can't really capture conversations in the bus and keep man and things like that. But it's just depicting the everyday life, the cultures and the struggles of the everyday Nigerian. Yeah, Nigeria is hard.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's because when we're here, we also do all these things. So we video, like I also have my Instagram platform. So it's funny to see. Not funny. It's nice to see someone do that for Nigeria. Like good side. Like even when you go to restaurants, you show us that fine living as well, and then you show us the streets of Lagos.
That's good. That's good. I'm good. I'm glad to hear good.
So when you came back to Nigeria, what was the job hunting like? So where did you start from? I know you came back. If I remember clearly, you came back 26 September 2020. If I remember clearly, that was just about when I got the email that I would be invited for my visa interview.
I don't remember when I came back.
I think I remember.
I know I came back in
September. I came back in September.
So coming back, like I said, I already had like a deal with God and saying this is what I wanted. I'm coming back. the Holy Spirit made me understand that I was going to get a job in January. So even if my parents were worried, blah blah blah, but there's this conviction that I had I was going to get a job in January. I didn't know what it was going to be, and I'm grateful that I didn't do my NYSC first, because the NYSC, I remember telling my dad that when he was being very very anxious about me getting a job, I told him that I'll get a job. The NYSC is a safety net. He was like, what rubbish safety net? People NYSC people are not even finding job. But to me, I knew it was a safety net, because if I had done my NYSC, it would have been harder for me. Like I would, like NYSC, last you shall get, it will post you somewhere. Do you understand? So I think this particular job, I think this was on the CU portal. I saw this application. I just applied, and you just go back to the last 2 weeks.
Discover University alumni right here.
Yes, shout out to University.
Yeah, privy to.
So I saw the fellowship, and actually, what instigated me was, I think my sister's mom, my younger sister, also did NYSC, and at first I was so frustrated, but then she was going on interviews. I mean, I don't go for interview. I was like, well, what kind of thing is this? I just picked up my laptop, went to the CU job board. The first thing I saw, I just applied for it, because I'm like I must get a job. Not competitive, not that I must get a job before her, but this actualization that you have a good start. Yeah, it pushed me, and I started working there before I got my NYSC. So my company just sent a letter of request, and I just kept working there as well. So yeah, so NYSC was a good safety net.
Before NYSC.
I mean, to be not honest, everywhere networking is key. I can't really remember how many places I applied to, but I just know I rested in the conviction that if that push was not there, it's not as if Titi didn't get that job that pushed me to apply for this job that I applied to. But it was just a necessary, what would I say? I don't know. I didn't apply for so many jobs. I think that's what I'll say. It was more of speaking to people. And all the speaking to people, it was more of oil and gas, but not really where.
So both of us actually have very.
I'm just grateful to.
Sorry to cut you.
Yeah, I thank God, because I wasn't meant to do supply chain. I wanted to do my master's in HR.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and then my parents were like, "How do you spend that kind of money? I'm going to do HR."
Yeah.
I just switched it to supply chain, because I'm like, I was working in oil and gas, and I as well just stick.
I remember that time. I was like, if this is all my sister has to go through with masters, I'm definitely not doing masters. But I've also shared my story of when I decided to eventually get a masters in episode 4 of how I got into Cornell. Okay, so rounding up, how would you compare working in the UK and working in Nigeria so far? Because I know, so after the pandemic hit, you finished January of 2020, and then the pandemic hit, and I think you started working somewhere in February. Since you said you don't want to name the company, I won't disclose it. And I know you really enjoyed working there as well. You just talked about how you felt that job was for you as well. How would you compare working for that company that you liked and the company you also like in Lagos, Nigeria?
To be honest, I think I would prefer working for the company I'm working for now than the other company, because their wahala was too much. I'll say wahala because there's so many. Their trouble was too much. There are some companies you work, and so I'm an overperformer normally. And when you are performing, and then they are threatening that you're going to go and take their job.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, I'm not taking your job. It's not for to become a manager or anything. I'm just literally showing you how best to do this to even save your money and get you more money in your pockets. But I think go to the culture that celebrates you. Like I said, culture is very important to me. So to be honest, working there, definitely the money is more.
That's the go to a culture that celebrates me more. But that will always be home, right? But
hello?
I think we've lost audio. Oh, okay. Okay, I'll just wait for you to come back. Okay, and we're back. I lost you for some time.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. So we're talking about no, I think you were talking about my question was, how would you compare working in the UK to working in Nigeria?
Yeah, so I think I can't really remember what I was saying, but I think the last thing I said was go to a culture that celebrates you. So culture was very big for me. And see, God knows, even the job in Nigeria, at first when I saw the pay, because it was more like they were just paying you for data at first, because it was a fellowship. Yeah, I was like, what kind of thing is this? So there was this thing in my head. Every time somebody is doing something, I'm like, how would they be treating a master's person like this? How would they be? So in my head, I didn't want to take that job. And then when they even posted me to the company, I'm like, what kind of sector is this? In my wildest imagination, I'll never believe I'll be working in that sector. But the Holy Spirit just told me not to send that email because I wanted to switch companies to the other company. So the other company was an FMCG company, obviously my supply chain. And I loved what they used to sell. Like, I love that particular drink. That's my best Nigerian drink. I'm not going to disclose. I'm not going to disclose the name.
Wait, I know the drink.
Because
Wait, I know the drink. Vimto. No, I don't know weird drink. It's not soda.
No. And no, this is a CU.
Pandan
So moving
drink. Zobo. Just say
No.
the drink, Joe. What will happen?
Okay, let me say it. So no, actually, so the drink was no, let me not say it.
What
So
would I do if you say the name of the drink? Now I'm curious.
actually just for confidentiality of the. I remember I signed an NDA. So
Oh, okay.
and let me know. So, anyways, so that company, I was actually telling the organizers that they should move me to that company and not my company because that's what I wanted, and I didn't believe this sector had anything good for me. I see how that would jeopardize my destiny. Anyways, moving on. I mean,
You're in
sorry?
agriculture, you're in the agricultural sector, just to give context.
Yes, because it's funny because nobody from that other company was retained. But anyways, let's just move in. I started at this company, so be very strategic about what you want. Once you go into a company, send them your expectations, if it's like an internship or fellowship, tell them, be the one to drive your learning curve or your
career
growth
growth,
trajectory. Exactly. I told them these are my core competencies. These are my expectations. These are the roles
They
that I would
asked you
like
for
to
it, or you just sent an
And-
email? They asked you for it.
I just sent it. No, they didn't. I just sent it. I sent it to my supervisor,
Interesting.
and I sent it so that they know that these are the kind of works they. And I also told them that I'm open to explore other areas, but these are the core. Remember, I had a sit down with God and said these are the things I want to develop in. So I made sure that those things were highlighted. And so moving in after the internship, close to the internship, before you know it, I was promoted to a product manager, and then after that, few months down the line, I was now promoted to a junior. Actually, the product manager thing, see, in the midst of darkness, God always wants to shine forth light. So I think during that time, there was someone that, so I think the senior person then at the role couldn't do the program anymore. So I was like the next best person, and it was a lot of work. I was like, well, what kind of thing is this one? How will this person leave? I was feeling very distraught, but then I just kept showing up. And then I think then what I could do showed because I took the step forward. And then obviously there was no other person to fill the role. They brought someone else, but for the backlog of time before they brought the new person, I was already doing work. So I think after I had shown those kind of things, they now promoted me to a product manager. So during the junior product manager thing, I started doing work, taking more work than I was paid for. All of that. At the end of the fellowship, before even the end, I remember I went to camp and I actually had fellowship with God that it was my birthday time.
Yeah.
The Friday of when I was coming back, my boss called me, alerted me of an increase in salary. I was very happy, and I was like, "That's amazing." Then after that, I then did the junior management stuff. I started speaking to people I would usually not speak to. I started being in rooms that I would usually not be in if I was an analyst or if I had gone the regular paths that people usually go. But anyways, then most recently they promoted me to a senior manager. So I think all the yeah, but I mean it's been a hassle because it's push and pull. It's more of just the stretching is just the annoying, especially things I don't like to do, but God is telling me do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. And because He knows where He's taking it to. And then before you know it, I think with more grace comes more responsibility and expansion to do more. So yeah,
Okay.
I would say thank God for the appetite, thank God for the grace.
Yeah. Okay. So on a lighter note, even as we round up now, what has been your favorite thing about Lagos so far? And what was your favorite thing in the UK? And what's your favorite thing in Lagos? And your worst thing?
My favorite thing in Lagos would be just food and culture. I'm very big on culture. That's not really like Yoruba, Igbo, or any, just people's way of life. So the street of
Yeah.
Lagos is just capturing what I like, basically. So
Yeah.
I couldn't get any of that in the UK. So I think I'm still in the euphoria of the moment. That's why I'm just capturing up and down. It doesn't really
Yeah.
frustrate me like that. Even if it frustrates me, I just. So I think that's what I like.
Favorite thing
That's what I like.
Okay.
And then the other thing I like. Sorry,
I think the audio is lagging.
I
I'm
think
sorry.
that's
So
the only
my,
thing I
my
like. And
question.
maybe some.
Are you still
So I
there?
said
Okay, wait, hold on.
I'm
Let
there.
me
I
let
said
me
so. The two most
let me
important things.
I think our audio is lagging. Oh my god. So let me ask you the question again officially. So I was saying, so I said on a lighter note, I want to now ask you what are what was your favorite thing about the UK and what's your favorite thing about Lagos? Also, what was your worst thing about the UK and now what's your favorite thing about and what's your worst thing about the UK?
So for the UK is the ease of life. For the UK is the ease of life and accessibility. Like I wanted
Wait.
going better, I'll just walk and buy
Can
it.
I
It wasn't as
can I
expensive.
stop you a bit?
Yeah.
Okay. So the audio is lagging. So let me repeat myself. So I can let me repeat myself. So I was asking. So I said thank you for sharing the differences between work environments of UK and Lagos. But now I'd like to ask you now. I said on a lighter note, I'd like to ask what are your favorites and worst things about living in Lagos, and what were your favorite and worst things about living in the UK? Comparison side by side.
So for the UK, I think my favorite thing was accessibility. And the ease of life in terms of like I could get whatever I wanted. In terms of food, I would say I want to make maybe Japanese stir fry, and I don't have to go to 5 different stores to get something to get one
Yeah,
particular
that's
thing, and I've suffered a lot in that route. Um, Lagos. Then my disadvantage was I felt I wasn't using my gifts and what God had, even like in helping people doing outreaches. I felt paralyzed to do that in the UK. Then for Lagos, I think my best things would be the culture, just the culture of people, the little things in everyday life. Um, and for my worst things, like I said in the UK thing, I don't like when and me sometimes I cook to distress, so I don't like sometimes kitchen is hot, market is hot, there's bad water on the market, things splashing on you. You have to go to 5 different stores to get one thing. There was one time I wanted Greek yogurt. I went to 3 different supermarkets and I couldn't find. So
and this for Lagos, right?
that's very annoying. And also how rude and yes, this for Lagos. And then the second thing I don't like is how rude and entitled people feel. You can
And what's
walk
your
and hold the umbrella, but because I'm a politician, somebody needs to hold the umbrella for me. So that's the worst thing for me for Lagos.
and what's your favorite thing for Lagos?
So for favorite thing, I said culture and a couple of friends I
Food.
have here. I mean, all my friends have gone, so the special person here. And
Yeah.
well, not really food. Not really. I wouldn't say food per se. I wouldn't say food per se because I enjoyed going out in the weekend as well. So I wouldn't say food.
You enjoyed what? Sorry, you cut
Because I
there.
don't even like all those small ones. I
Yeah.
said I enjoyed food in UK. I wouldn't say food because it's not like it's, I don't eat all these native dishes and stuff like that. So I wouldn't even say food.
Yeah, oh my god, Nigerian internet is not letting me hear you play. But we'll make the best of it. And thank you. I was going to ask about your work with God and keeping the faith, but I think that's already obvious in how you have explained your whole journey, mentioning God every step of the way. So thank you. And what would you say, where do you see yourself in the next two to
Yeah.
three, 5 years? How many more things do you hope to achieve?
Well, I hope to be speaking on global platforms, impacting the lives of teenagers. In fact, I'm starting a newsletter. I feel like I've not really seen anyone that has done a newsletter for teenagers before. Teenagers are really going through a lot. So I really plan on expanding more in the ministry, in the teens ministry, even in church, even as an individual, and giving them more opportunities to thrive. Um, Also, in terms of my career, I hope to have done my PMP. I hope to have really, really excelled and be a voice in tech and agriculture. So yeah,
Yeah. Nice, nice. Your video is off. I'm not sure if you are aware.
it's because of the internet. So Lagos internet is bad. It's been bad for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. No, no,
Just so that there will
well,
not
the
be
platforms.
interruptions.
Okay, okay, okay. I see. Oh, thank you for that. So thank you. So you said you want to start a newsletter for teenagers. Yeah, I know that too because I used to teach in teen church with you. Before you left, we used to be there together, and I would say teenagers are one of the most forgotten people in church. They just keep them there. Like, go let your teachers deal with you for the meantime. Today on Sunday. But yeah, I really like interacting with teenagers, so I'm happy that you want to do that for them. Okay, and on the lightest note, so what was the dating scene like for you in the UK? Well, I know you were already like betrothed to someone, but what was it like handling long distance relationships? A long distance relationship from Nigeria and UK.
It was hard. I wouldn't lie. But I mean, I think the person we've made it fun in terms of we'll do different games, we'll do different, I don't know, just we just found ways to just have fun online, and also communication was key. Because one thing is you might be feeling very, very, very angry, sad, but the other person is just calling you, doesn't know what made you angry, doesn't know the situation you've been in, or doesn't even know how to relate, especially maybe if the person has not been there before. So the person doesn't even know how to relate to your frustrations about the system or whatever is making you feel bad. So I think communication made it better, and it's all about your commitment as well. So yeah.
Okay, and you guys are still waxing strong. I must add that. So all of us, all we fans are very happy to see that. And last but not least, I guess, or second to the last, tell us something about yourself that's not on LinkedIn. I know that we had, but yeah, I'll put you on the spot.
So I dance. I don't think you know. I dance, but it's in my closet. So it's
You're
not anywhere.
breaking.
I said I dance. It's not anywhere on the internet.
Yeah. No, you used
Yeah,
to
so
dance.
that's
You used to dance. You still dance. I know you were like the dance.
I dance. So that's why nobody knows. And another thing that's not on LinkedIn was that I was a finalist on the Miss Great Britain Africa back in the UK. So those are two things. Extra bonus for the non-immigrant students podcast.
Yeah, but funny enough, you don't even got STEM podcast didn't hear the second thing. You cut out. You were a final what? The first thing is you dance. So I just asked my girls to tell us things on to tell us something about herself that's not on LinkedIn. And the first thing is she dances. And what's the second thing?
The second thing is I was finalist for Miss Great Britain Africa. That was in the UK. It was a beauty pageant. Yeah, nobody will know that.
Really? You did a beauty pageant. Did I know that?
I don't think so. Yes, I did.
Oh my God, you're cutting out. Oh my God, I'm so angry with this internet
I
right
said
now.
yes, yes, I did.
You were finalist for
Yes,
a
I
beauty
did.
pageant in the UK. Noted. That's
Yeah.
very, yeah, I don't, it sounds familiar, but I don't know how serious it was, I guess. So, and this is the most important part, and I wish our internet would be here, but I want to ask, what's the last thing you want to say to someone? I think you should try to turn on your camera. I want to see you say this. What's the last thing you want to say to someone struggling with deciding on going back to their home country or not? What's that one thing you want to say in a few words as we wrap up?
I would, I would, I would say smile on yourself. When I mean smile on yourself as a whole. Embrace your competencies, your truths, even no
Okay,
matter
maybe
how
you
you
can
want
turn
to
off your
deny
video.
it. Like,
Let me turn off mine too. I'll repeat the question again. So
yeah.
I'll start again. Um, so we're coming to the last part. In short, this is the last question of this interview, hopefully. And I want you to share one last thing you would like to say to someone struggling with coming back to their home country. Any last advice or words for them?
So I think my last advice is to smile on yourself. Smile on your truths, no matter how much you want to deny it, because that will give you strength to go forward. You can't keep denying where you've come from. There's no how you will go to where you want to be if you keep blocking out things. Um, Smile on your competencies, your skills, your abilities, and then with that, get strength to forge ahead or to take the next challenge or the next step in life.
Wow, interesting. Thank you so much for that, Timmy. Even for me, I think my biggest takeaway from this interview would be because even me too, I think coming back to Nigeria is an option, at least in the next 3 to 5 years. I'm trying to decide if it's an option or not, so I will know how to prioritize my job application. But like you said here, I think it has to do with me really finding out from God if I have to stay or come back, because I see that's what we did mostly because and you like you said NYC was also a safety net because you hadn't done your NYC, so either way you were still going to get a job or a landing platform somehow once you came back. For me who has done my NYC, I think I have to take my time to God's hand to decide if I should come back or not. But anyway, I've seen America as my Eldorado for too long to give up now. So I will keep striving and applying for jobs and recruiting and all that. So thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you for coming here today. Thank you for tuning in all the way from Nigeria. I know you experienced some traffic coming back from church and all that, but thank you so much to me. And where can my audience find you when they need to reach out to you? What social
Um,
media are you available on?
I mean, to be honest, I feel like changing my name to just Timmy, but then it's Life Mini. I don't know how to pronounce the proper part, but I think it's Temitope underscore Olukanmi. That's
Let
on
your parents not
Instagram,
hear
and then
you.
Temitope Olukanmi. Exactly. That's why I want to like when even on my PID card, I just say Timmy. Like I hate that the proper part so much. But then if I just say my name is Timmy, everybody will just name their own. I don't know. Like maybe it's because I don't have that intonation and they keep forcing it on me and it's like
Yeah.
it's not there. It's just like the same way yeah, so it's just frustrating.
Yeah,
So
I understand. Even me when I come
find
and I
me
talk, I can't really speak Yoruba. It's like they want to laugh at me. I'm like, you can you speak low? Like, and maybe they think we're being proud for saying we can't really speak our native language. But I'm like, it doesn't even change anything. Like, why do you feel like you need to hear me speak my language for you to take me seriously?
I
Please.
don't even have there are some people that have different tongues. I don't even have the you know some people when they say baloney or something.
Yeah.
I don't even have that baloney. I don't know how to explain it. But
Grandma is always
anyways,
looking at us.
Timmy Top.
We try. So what's your Instagram?
Anyways, that's my
YouTube. Yeah.
Timmy Top underscore Olukomi. And then I mean you can watch my YouTube videos, Timmy Top Olukomi. And then my LinkedIn, Timmy Top Olukomi. I don't think there's any other thing I have. On my Instagram, you can get the links to the different blog posts and
I think
YouTube videos.
I think your name on YouTube right now is being Ruth, right?
No, that's just on my email. So I went through a whole different phase. But yeah, it's
Okay.
Tim Topper comment. Yeah.
Okay. So we're exactly at 1 hour 10 minutes. That brings us to the end of this interview. Thank you so much,
Yeah,
Tim.
thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I can't thank you enough. Honestly, it took so long to finally schedule this, but and I'm also thanking myself for being here, for showing up for this podcast, and for showing up for everyone. I thank myself. Thank you, girl. And so thank you guys for tuning in. For as many of you who are listening and who always listen to the end, thank you. I appreciate you. And for anyone who's also struggling with the decision or the dilemma to come back or not, we hope that you and God sort it out, and you're able to make that decision. We hope that you don't have any regrets, and we hope that when you come back, you come back and you will live a more successful life. And like she said, our green land is where we make of it. So yes, signing out. Thank you for being here. Have a lovely week. If you,
You too.
yeah,
You too. Thank you.
okay. Goodbye.
All right. Bye. Bye.